Thank you for joining us today at the City of Wauwatosa. I'm Melissa Weiss, Communications Manager, and I am here with Officer Mike McDermott to talk about a new feature that we have available for residents, crimereports.com. Can you tell me why we have crimereports.com?
So one of the challenges of the police department is to get accurate information out to people, as many people as possible. So we have acquired this software where people can jump on their computer and look to see what's going on in their communities. So a lot of the times a resident will call the police wondering about what happened, and it might be a rumor, it might be inaccurate information, whether they found that through a neighborhood email, neighborhood association email, or on an app. So a lot of that time that information is not correct. So this software will allow us to put out the accurate information so where people can click on a bubble and find out about that call.
So anyone can visit www.crimereports.com and they can see a map system, and how does that work?
Right, so when people log on to crimereports.com, there are a couple different ways that they can do it, but like you just said, there's a map of the city of Wauwatosa, and there will be a lot of different bubbles, which are police calls. They're all calls, not just crimes. They're traffic stops, they're calls for service, things that we get sent to. So residents will be able to look on that map. They can break it down even further into a geographical area, whether it be the east side of Wauwatosa, if they want to break it down even further to just their neighborhood or even just their block. So they'll be able to look at this information, click on the bubble, and find out what it is.
And are there different ways for them to filter that information? Can they search for specific things?
Sure. So what people can do when they go onto crimereports.com is, if they're only interested in, for example, thefts in their neighborhood, they can geographically locate the area that they're interested in, and they can set the filters for they're only interested in thefts or vehicle traffic stops or whatever the information is. In addition to that, if people want to set parameters as far as time, so if someone's interested in how many traffic stops are being made during rush hour in their neighborhood or on North Avenue, they can set those filters between whatever they want, 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. to just look at the traffic. So there's different ways that they can do that. They could set it for just Wednesdays or weekends or whatever they might be. They can really tailor the system to what they're interested in.
Are there any calls that are not displayed on the map?
So there's 3 categories of calls that will not be displayed on crimereports.com, and it's more for a privacy issue. So those would be domestic violence calls, sexual assaults, and issues with mental health, mental illness.
So it sounds like there's really a wealth of information available for the public about what's happening with crime in Wauwatosa. Is there any delay on how the information is posted? If I or a resident were to see police presence in their neighborhood last night, when should they get on to crimereports.com and expect to see that incident mapped?
It's a good question. So there's going to be an approximately 24-hour delay before the information gets posted onto the crimereports.com. So for instance, if someone comes home from work at 5 o'clock and sees 3 squad cars on their block, they won't be able to, jump onto the system and find out what's going on an hour later. It's going to take 24 hours for that information to be uploaded on there.
And what if they want more information than what's available on the map? How would a resident or a business owner get additional information about that call?
So anytime somebody clicks one of the bubbles on the map, if they're interested in, for example, a theft, when they click the bubble, it will generate a case number. Every call is a case number is generated, whether it's a theft or a traffic stop, a 17- whatever number, for example, for this year. And if they wanted more information and they wanted to dig further into that call, they could come to the police station and obtain that police report.
Great. What other things can residents or businesses do on crimereports.com to increase their engagement with the police department?
So there's a couple of different things that people can do on crimereports.com. One of them is there's a link to the Wauwatosa Crime Stoppers organization. So anytime someone clicks one of the bubbles, I'll give you the example of theft again. So if somebody was interested in a particular theft that happened in the city or in their neighborhood, and they click on that link, they click on that bubble, the link will pop up for the Crime Stoppers, and if they have information about that crime and they wanted to submit an anonymous tip, they could do so right from there. Also, a lot of people these days have cameras on their house affixed to their houses or their businesses. So on crimereports.com, if they want to, they can register their camera, and what that allows us to do is pretty much know where cameras are in the city if someone has a camera. So if there's a crime that had occurred in the vicinity of that camera, we would know that there's a camera there, and we could go to the homeowner and ask them to see footage if it would help us in our investigation.
It sounds like there's a lot of great ways to help the police department and the public work together to solve crime and keep Wauwatosa a safe community. What if people want to get alerts sent to them for specific geographic areas, for their neighborhoods? Is there a way to do that on crimereports.com?
There is. So people can, that's one of the options on crimereports.com. So if somebody wants to receive email alerts about whatever crime it is that they're interested in Wauwatosa within their geographic area that they chose, they would receive an email alert of that particular crime.
There's a wonderful tutorial available for everyone on crimereports.com to learn how to use this service better, and we encourage you to do that and to visit crimereports.com and explore this new initiative today.